Welcome everybody to another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Barron. I got my guy with me. It would be a disservice to call this guy my friend. This is my brother right here, called Pierre, the horse himself.
For sure.
How you doing? Appreciate you coming through.
Here,
How you feeling, man?
I feel good. Happy to be here, bro. For real.
So me and Carl, we go back. We went to high school together. Carl is a bucket. I'll just tell y'all that much. When it comes to this hoop stuff, he really do it. UMass graduate, Rice men's basketball. Right now, you on that program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're gonna get into your whole story, because if there's one thing about Carl, that boy knows how to work. And so I really want to kind of get into, the things that drove you to the point where you're at and where you're thinking about. But first, describe yourself for the people who may not know you.
Shit, that's right to it. Wow. I would say, just to go along with what you said, hardworking guy. It sounds bad, but I really just try to stay in my lane. I think that's like my motto. Don't do too much. Try to treat people right, and just go about my business. Try to be low key.
For sure. And bringing it back to the beginning, you were born in Haiti, right?
I was.
So when did you come to the States?
When I in 05.
05. So you were what, 6?
I was like 6, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you remember what that transition was like? You remember first of all, you remember the conversation of like, hey, yeah, we're moving.
Right. Yeah. So
what was that like?
I was young, so I didn't really understand the whole magnitude of it. But we came over here because my mom was sick.
Yeah.
She had cancer, so we came over here so she could get treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember coming here. It wasn't crazy because I've been coming to America. I had family here already, so we would come on vacation and whatnot. So we come here. The transition was wild. Like I had to learn the language. I didn't know a lick of English.
Crazy.
So I was one of the like ESL, ELL kids.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the biggest difference. But I was young, so I was definitely more into the Haitian culture. But I think I transitioned into American culture pretty easily, honestly.
I feel you. Now, at what point, when did you first fall in love with hoop? Because, like, you're a hooper. Like, we all like to, I like to hoop.
Yeah.
But you hoop for real, for real.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you fall in love with hoop? You were like, this is something I really want to grind for.
I say I really fell in love with it probably like 7th grade going into 8th grade. I was like, I think I'm pretty decent at this, and I think I could be pretty good. So I'm going to sit here and really, like, lock in on the grind and really try to get better.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you picked up a basketball?
First time I picked up a basketball for real? I have a picture, like, at the crib. I was a young bull, like, super young, shooting, like,
on the little type basket?
Like that type of thing. So I was young. I was really young.
Yeah. So 7th, 8th grade, you're like, you know what? This could take me far.
Right.
Did you have a vision of where you wanted it to take you? Were you like, I want to play in college, I want to go pro? Like, did you have a vision at that young, or was it something that part developed over time?
I think I always wanted to be a pro.
Yeah.
Obviously watching.
League him.
I was watching the Celtics play, whatever. So I was like, man, I want to play professionally. Like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I think that was the first dream. And then once I started getting closer to high school, it was like, all right, I got to try to make it to Division I basketball. So I think the first dream was definitely professional. And then as I grew, it was college and then
pro.
Yeah.
So one thing about me, like, as you know, we used to talk hoops all the time back in the day.
All day.
One of the things that I've really taken a lot, over the years as I've gotten older, I realized that a lot of the guys I watched in the NBA, like, they've taught me a lot of examples. Like Michael Jordan, I remember watching like a bunch of old Michael Jordan like videotapes when I was a kid. Kobe Bryant, LeBron, seeing those people. Those were my first inspirations. Do you remember the first players where you really felt like, oh, I want to be like him? Like that's an example, that's a role model type of situation?
Yeah, bro. Ray Allen.
Ray Allen for real?
Boston Celtics Ray Allen. I was a diehard fan.
That
bro.
makes sense.
He got a ratchet.
Yeah.
He's nice. I was like, I want to shoot like him. Yeah. Like I want to play like him. That was it, for sure.
So you was just outside getting them shots. That makes sense because you can shoot that thing.
I was like, I want to be like Ray Allen.
And we're going to talk about that later. So Ray Allen, now, was there anything you took specifically from him other than the jump shot? Like, did you study his routine and were like, okay, this is how he practices, I'm going to do that? Or was it just like, okay, I know he can shoot, so I want to be a shooter?
For sure. So I had this, after they won the championship, I bought this little, like, book. It was, like, commemorated to them winning the championship. And it went into depth about each player and whatever. And they talked about like how he used to show up to the games 3 hours early, be in the gym working nonstop. And that's like, that's where I got that from. I was like, if this is what it takes. I mean, that's what I got to do if I want to be like Ray Allen. So that's how I got it.
So you've been working harder than most people at basketball for a pretty long time.
Yeah, I would think so.
So okay, now let's start. Let's get into high school a little bit, because like middle school, it's like, okay, basketball is fun, but you're not.
Trash.
Yeah, you're not like there. But I remember I met you freshman year. We were literally just talking about this on camera. First day of school, we played 1-on-1 after school. I beat him, and I've never played him again, and I never will, because he will smoke me now, and I'm just not going through that. But talk about what happened in high school. So we went to an all-boys high school called BC High. It's all-boys Catholic school. It's a big school, so it's like really competitive in terms of like the athletics and stuff. Did transitioning from Randolph Public Schools to BC High change your outlook at all, or add anything to your perspective about hoop?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on a little bit of a smaller scale, of course, because it's like going from my town high school to a little bit of a bigger high school. Yeah. Like you said, it was competitive. Like there was more talent there than I had seen before. Yeah. So it was just like, all right, I got to get better. Like if I want to play varsity and be good, like I got to get a lot better. Yeah. So I think that was like what changed. Like it was just like, all right, there's like a lot more talent out here than I knew.
How did you think you compared to the rest of our grade? You thought you were the best, didn't you?
Respectfully, yeah.
Listen, I was on a B team and I thought I was the best.
Yeah.
So I remember distinctly, right? Like I said, they put me on a B team. They was hating because I was really lucky, but whatever. That spring, we were doing our workouts. We played a lot. How many hours do you think we probably put in that gym?
A lot.
Ridiculous
bro,
amount.
OD.
But we was doing our workouts. We were, in playing pickup. You started playing with Bay State Magic that spring, right? Okay, talk to me about that summer, because that was the summer you were kind of on par with the rest of us. Okay. Like you were better than the rest. We knew that, but it wasn't like the gap wasn't crazy, that big. Yeah. You came back and you made varsity as a sophomore. Right. That's when it was like, all right, Carl's a different breed. You can't play with us no more. But what happened between that spring, summer, and fall? What was the development like? Talk about what your practice regimen was, the things you saw playing AAU that helped you develop.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was kind of bugging that summer. Like I was tripping out. So nobody was driving there. So I would hop on the bike, bro. The bike work is. I would get on the bike, bro. I would hop on the bike I'm on the bike. I would bike across town to the track. Yeah. I would run on the track, do sprints, run a couple miles.
At Randolph High?
At Randolph High, it'd be hot, bro. I'm talking like it's hot. So I'm in there. I'm doing that. Hop on the bike. Maybe like 10 minutes to an outdoor court, because there was nowhere for me to hoop.
No gyms
inside. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm outside. So I was outside, like getting shots up every day, working on my handle, like one dribble pull up, everything. Like I would just be out there in the sun, just working on my game. And then on the AAU circuit, like it was like Randolph to BC High. It was like another step. Yeah. Like you see more talent. It's like, all right, like I'm right here. Like I don't think anybody here is really better than me like that. So I got the confidence. Then I just kept working like that. I'm going to the track. I'm going to the outdoor court. And then that next year I came to BC High and
you was killing. What was how did you figure out what to work on? Because that was one thing every summer. Like I had a hoop in my backyard, so I would either go to the local gym or go to the local park or hoop in my backyard, work on my moves. How I figured out what I wanted to work on is I'd pick a player or two for the summer, and one summer was John Wall, one summer was Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, whatever, and I picked parts of their game that I wanted to work on. Did you do the same thing? Did you pick a player? Like what was your process like in determining? Like, I know I need to work on something, but what is it that I need to work on?
So I had a couple of things. So one, I saw a lot of the varsity games that year. Yeah. So I'd be like, what are they doing out there? So everybody shoots a one dribble pull up. Everybody shoots the three. So it's like, all right, I got to get good at putting the ball on the floor, being able to shoot from deep. And then same thing. I'd watch basketball. So I'd see players and I'm like, damn, like I like his game. Like I was a big Ray Allen fan. I was low-key a big Rondo fan. Like I was like a Celtics fiend,
Rondo
bro.
was a goal.
A Celtics Rondo was OD, bro.
In like 2011, 2012, like he was legitimately like top 3-point guard in the league.
And it was like I'd watch him and it'd be like, all right, he's not necessarily going out there and getting 20 every night, but he's literally just impact. Like he rebounds, he defends, he passes the ball, and it was just like you got to be able to do everything. So that's like I would just watch guys take pieces from other players' games and then just take what I saw during the varsity games and then just do it like that.
Right. So now, okay, you come back, you're killing all this summer, you're working. You come back, fall is Oh man, we hoop so much in the fall. Them Friday
Man,
afternoon runs
talk
is
trash
crazy.
all
Talking the
day.
craziest, right? Tryout season, right? Like I said, I remember you started off. We separated like JV and varsity tryouts. I think you went to the JV gym for about a minute. They're like, Carl, no, you're over here. What was that like, right? That call up, like, okay, I'm with the varsity guys, and then what was getting your feet wet? What was that experience like in practice, and then getting, you know, your first taste of actually game action? What was that transition like? You're doing it now.
Right,
What is that transition,
bro?
like?
It was crazy, bro. It was like I was like that day, like I was in my mind. I'm like, all right, I'm trying out for JV.
Yeah.
So I'm there, whatever, and they're like, no, you're about to go to varsity, and the varsity tryout's not until like 6 p.m. So now I got like 2 hours to just sit there and think about it. Like, damn, like this is crazy. Like it is what it. So, get to varsity tryouts. I'm going through it, whatever. I'm playing fine, but I'm like, damn, like this is a different level. Like I'm gassed out, but it was good. Like that whole year was a big learning curve. Like the game was different. It was faster, more physical, and I think it was good for me to be able to get my feet wet on the varsity level that early, because I mean I wasn't good enough.
Did you start that year?
I did. But I wasn't good enough, bro. Like I started, I could make plays here and there, but I needed time to get accustomed to the level. But I think being able to do that was super valuable, honestly. Yeah.
Can you talk about, because this is one thing I really, you know, the actual last NBA Finals has really put into perspective, right? It's one thing about being talented, but being really good is different, right? You have the talent to be on varsity, but you didn't have the experience. Once you add talent and experience, I think that's where you really get good. What is that difference? Can you feel that difference where you're like, okay, I know like I have the raw talent to do it, but I know there's something missing. Can you talk about what that feeling is like?
It's like you said, talent and experience. So I got that sophomore year out of the way. Now I know what this level's about. I know how to approach my work in this off season to get ready for that level of competition. And then as you put that work in, it's confidence. Yeah. Like you start to feel confident. Yeah. It's like, all right, like I'm good here. I'm gonna be able to do this. Gonna be able to do that. And like you just start, like it's just like it's the confidence. You start to feel confident in your game.
Can't nobody touch
and you. It's like, all right, like I'm ready. I'm here. Like, couple that with I start to get in a weight room. And then it's like, all right, physically, I know I'll be able to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So what I really want to talk about, and this, put the camera on me, because I got important stuff to say real quick. Because one thing, because I just started a new job, but I was interviewing like crazy. And you know they always ask me certain questions. And I mention your name a ton because I know you remember that summer between sophomore and junior year where we were at BC High all the time. Now, mind you, we don't live particularly close to where we went to high school. Like I live in Stowey, he lived in Randolph, right? That's at least 10, 15, 20 miles from we went to school in Dorchester. We're taking the train to school. Like I was getting up at 6, 7 in the morning, going to work with my parents, hopping on the train, getting to school at like 8 in the morning in the summer. Right? Carl was there. We were doing strength and conditioning programs. We were doing, we were getting shots up, playing King of the Court, all of that. And that was the summer I really learned what hard work looked like. Because like I said, I got to watch him come in as a freshman. He was better than all of us, and we all knew it. We weren't going to admit it, but we knew it, right? But it was just, you just kept seeing the strides. You kept seeing the strides. And then that summer was where I really got to see the difference. Because I'm not going to lie, I thought I was pretty good, but I saw the difference between someone who's pretty good and someone who's really good. He would come in, we would shoot. No misses. We would go lift. We was fighting for athleticism.
We were fighting.
I was low-key killing you. I was low-key killing you a little bit.
Don't let Trevor fool you, bro. He's athletic, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Just a little bit. So we would be going back and forth in the weight room, and then we go back and shoot more. We get shots up. We go play King of the Court. I still remember it was you, me, Travis, and Jack. Yep. We would play King of the Court at least once a day. I didn't win a single game the whole summer. Not one. I'm talking like I didn't win a single game. I might have scored like 3 points the whole summer. Like they were killing me. But I really got to see, hey, this is what happens when you work. So Carl was somebody who actually literally taught me what working hard looks like. Because my grind was school. Like I was I'm going to Harvard. But I wasn't working that hard. Like I kind of had natural ability. Carl was the first person to show me like in person what it looks like when you take that natural talent and you add supreme work ethic. So I got to give you your flowers for that.
Appreciate you, bro. But you were in there with me too.
No, like, for sure.
You were in there every day.
We was grinding, but I want you to talk about what was it that inspired you to go that hard? Because I know like you was already on the varsity team. I was trying to make it. So that was the thing that was pushing me. What was inspiring you to be like, yo, yo, I'm already probably the best on the team at this point, but I'm still going to get this work in every single day in the middle of the summer where most people are sleeping in until 10, 11, 12.
Right.
You're at school by 8 o'clock getting shots up, lifting weights, doing what you got to do. What inspired you? What drove you to do that?
I wanted to go play Division I basketball in college, and I wanted to be the best in the area. Like, what was it? NERR, they had that site, and they had their rankings and everything. And I'm on no rankings, no nothing. And I'm like, bro, like, I really genuinely think I'm good enough to be on this list. Like, I'm better than some of the people on this list.
Facts.
So every day it was just like, I'm gonna have to prove it. So I'm gonna work to prove it, and I'm gonna go get a scholarship. Like, that's it. It was simple as that.
Yeah, so I mean, you was working, and again, we saw it pay off because junior year you came. I don't know how much you averaged, but you was killing.
Maybe like 18,
something like that.
Yeah.
No, I think you averaged 20 your junior year.
Oh, I don't think so.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
Because you and Trav was killing. You, Trav and Jack was killing.
Yeah.
But all right, so whatever. Y'all come in junior year, y'all team's fire. Same thing. Summer going into senior year, you're still working. Senior year, you put on a show. Like, best player in the state, hands down, no questions. Very obvious, right? One of the best teams in the state. Unfortunately, in the playoffs,
Ah,
was sick.
man,
that was just bad timing.
That's the one that got away. I'm sick about that to this day.
Talk to me about that season, like senior year. Like, okay, you had your junior year. Junior year was kind of like the coming out part. You're like, all right, I'm here now. I'm doing my thing. Senior year, what's the confidence like? Are you like, I'm about to going into the season where you're like, yeah, I'm about to just run this. Like, nobody can check me. How did you feel
going into the season? It was like I was confident because I was like, I did it. And I can do it again, and I'm getting better. We are still lifting. I'm stronger now more stronger than I was
bouncing
ever.
Too.
I was way bouncier than I was, and it was just like I like I'm here, but at the same time, it was like I was kind of on a mission because I was respectfully. I went into my senior year pissed.
I know
I was
pissed.
Because
you wasn't getting. You didn't have any offers, did you?
I had no O's, like nothing. Like it was nothing, and I was pissed. I remember that fall I came to school. I had our schedule in my locker. I had games circled, like. It was like I literally had games circled, players' names written.
This man was on a mission.
Because it was like I was like, all right, we're playing this person on this team. Write the name down. I need that.
Yeah.
So like I really went into that season with like the intent to really prove a point. Like I think I'm the best, and I have to prove it. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, you killed. You averaged 22, like 8 and 2 blocks, something crazy. You got, I think, all scholastic, something like that. Catholic Conference All Star. Did you get MVP?
Yeah.
Dog. And the thing you got like Massachusetts player or defensive player of the year, something.
It was like defensive player of the year.
Something crazy, right? You showed out senior year. Despite everything you accomplished in your being the best player in the state on like a MIAA level, didn't have any offers.
None.
How did that make you feel?
I was pissed, bro. Like I can't explain it anything other than I was upset. Like I was angry because it was just like I don't really know what else I can do.
Yeah.
Like I think I've shown that I can play at that level. I'm not like a kid who's out here like messing up. Like I'm not treating people bad. Like nothing crazy.
You going to good school? You was getting great grades.
I'm cool, bro.
You're playing the top comp.
I'm solid.
You're killing everybody.
And no offers. But at the same time, it was like one of those things where it's like in due time. Like it's bound to come, bro. Like I don't live bad. I'm treating people right. I put my work in.
Yeah.
Like something's got to shake.
Yeah.
But I was pissed, bro.
So talk to me about I know you were going to go do a PG year, and then you kind of got that offer from UMass late. Talk to me about what happened there.
So I was going to go, like you said, do a PG year. So when you do a PG year, you can play as an unsigned senior in the spring for AU.
Yeah.
So I could play that spring. So I played whatever. I had a couple monster sessions. Then the interest started picking up. But some of it was for after the prep year. So like teams are coming in for, I was 17, so 18. So like 2018, like we're whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was like, what's it called? My first offer was Lafayette. Shout out to Lafayette. They offered me, I got the call. It was crazy, but it was for after the prep year. So I was like, I really didn't want to go to prep school. Like it was just like, I have to do it, like to get the opportunity. But it was like, all right, I have this offer on the table. The interest is picking up or whatever. Delaware was super interested for 17 and 18. So it was like, that might be an option. Cool. But then UMass, I remember I was at my sister's middle school. She had something going on. And I got on the phone with my AAU coach, and he was like, yo, UMass is super interested. I think they're going to offer. So I'm like, all right, cool. So it was probably like a day or two later. They called, offered me. I went up there, and it was kind of like it was like kind of a tryout. Like,
Yeah.
so I was up there. I had to work. It was like an unofficial visit. Worked out in front of the staff. The workout went really well, and they were extended the offer. And then I was like, man, UMass, it's like a state school. I know people there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to prep school.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Gotta do it.
just take it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
out of here.
That's dope. Why do you think like you weren't getting that attention? Because I mean, Travis was killing. He had to go prep a year. Why do you think like you guys got overlooked in the way that you did? Do you think it's because you're just playing MIA and no, like they're just not?
I guess that
There were a
has
couple
to be.
guys from like
there were,
Newton
bro.
and
But the
stuff
thing
who
is,
were
like,
getting looks.
we were playing other Division I guys. Like
Yeah.
on our schedule, my senior year, there were Division I guys on the schedule, and I'm just like, I don't really understand. But I'm guessing that has to be it. Like I don't see what else it could be.
Travis, the only thing I can say is like he's not that tall, but
Yeah.
you were 6'3", 6'4". Like you had good size,
Right.
was shooting lights out. Like I
don't get it, bro. Like, and even for Trav, I mean, he shot the lights out, and it was just like, bro.
And he played 4 years varsity, so they
And
had plenty of time.
I mean, come on. It's
and
crazy.
now he's killing.
He's about to finish with 2K.
Crazy.
I said it here first. He's finishing with 2K.
Crazy word. Travis, come on the pod. So once you get to UMass, right? You've now gone through 4 years. People are doubting you, not recognizing your abilities, but now you got the offer. You're on campus, right? You got the D1 scholarship. Like I think everybody who ever played basketball at any point in their life dreamed about being a D1 basketball player. You got it done. Now, tell me what that transition was like. You're going from high school to college. It's another step up in competition. You're away from home. Like, UMass is in the middle of nowhere. So, it's so many heads at that school. Right? It's completely different. What was that transition like on the court, off the court, socially, academically? You was probably breezing through it academically, but
it was smooth, bro. It was like,
yeah.
But off the court it was a lot of fun, bro. I mean, it's a big school. There's a lot of people there. You meet people all the time, and
going from basketball team,
bro, like literally, like you play basketball, yeah, and it was crazy. But what was I about to say? Damn, I just tricked.
We gonna edit it out.
Hold on. What was I talking about? I said, oh yeah. All right, bet. We back. Going from like an all boys Catholic school to UMass Amherst is
Crazy.
diff, bro. It's a diff.
Yeah.
Like it was just a lot of fun. But on the court, I mean, like it was another step up. Like it's a lot more physical. The game's faster. Everybody's as good as you. And like I was in high school, I was boozed a little bit, but like I'm telling you, bro, like you learn a lot about the game. But so like I was talking to Trav, and we talk about all the time, like you just learn things about the game.
Yeah.
And like shout out to one of my assistants coaches, Lucius Jordan. Like he taught me a lot about the game and stuff like help side. Like in high school, it's just not the same. You go in the lane, the center's 6'2", 6'3", you just go take a layup.
Yeah.
In college, it's not like that. And you really have to be on your P's and Q's because there's people in gaps. You got to learn how to throw the ball through the gap. And just be wary of how defenses rotate and things like that to get to the basket or to score in general. So it was a crazy transition. I learned a lot. But at first, there was a lot of growing pains. Like, in high school, I could just get to the basket whenever I wanted to. In college, it was so different, bro. There's help everywhere. Everybody's physical. So, I mean, for a while, I had to really figure out how to get to the basket. But I think with experience, like we were talking about earlier, and confidence and putting your work in, I figured it out, and it just built from there.
At what point did you realize, oh, these guys can't guard me either?
In college?
Yeah.
Honestly, like freshman year, like I was pretty confident freshman year. Like it was like I had a couple big games under my belt, and it was like, all right, like I could put together like some good performances, like for sure. And obviously, I'm like there's still growth to be had, but like I could be dangerous if I put it together.
I feel you. Now, how did the work habits that you developed, throughout your time growing up, right? Middle school, high school. How do you think that benefited you once you got to college? You were kind of on your own. Because again, like in high school, it's like, okay, you got practice, you got to be at school at this time. College is not like, I mean, as an athlete, you have some structure, but it's still like you're very much on your own. The amount of hours you put in is up to you.
Right.
How do you think your work ethic that you developed helped you get ahead? Because like I said, we saw the jump from freshman to start, like your freshman, you ended up starting in the middle of the season.
Right.
Your sophomore, you just came in killing. So how do you think your work ethic that you had developed benefited you in that way?
I think I became really self-driven in high school, so I didn't really need anybody to tell me to get up and go put your work in. So in college, it was easy. Like there's a facility right here for me to do it. Everything's tailor-made for this. So I mean, it was just like it was a regular days in. Like you just go in, put your work in, and then even off the court, go to class. Like it's easy. Like it was just I know how to work. I know how to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And it just carries right over. Like it's really nothing.
What? At some point, you became the leader of the team, right? Like you came in. I think you might have been like one of the only guys who was there like all 4 years. So by your sophomore, junior year, like, because I remember y'all played at Harvard your freshman year. I remember that game, but your junior year was a completely different team, right? Bro. So what was it like taking on that leadership role? Because you had to do it in high school too. Talk about those two experiences, becoming like, okay, you transitioning from the fresh face kind of figuring things out to, hey, now I got to bring y'all along with me. What was that like?
I think it was super valuable. Like it was different. Like these guys, I really don't like. You don't really know.
Yeah.
And being that there's a lot of turnover, I was constantly having to introduce myself and getting to know new guys. And it's like, how can I connect with these people as quickly as I can? Because I'm honestly not that sure how long I'm going to be with them. It was challenging. I'm not gonna lie. It was really challenging. You kind of just have to become good at managing personalities. I think that's the biggest takeaway from it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so COVID happens junior year, kind of messes up your season, messes up your flow. Did you have a senior season?
I only played like 15 games.
Okay, so you had barely a season, which is why you didn't get the record. I got you.
Yep.
So then you have another year of eligibility, so you're thinking about, where do I want to play this grad year? Because you graduated UMass with a master's, right?
Yep.
So you already have a master's. You're just like, okay, I kind of got my pick of the litter. I remember when you put your name in the transfer portal, I've seen some teams pop up in terms of interest. But you ended up choosing Rice, reconnected with Travis, which made all the sense in the world. But what was the decision? Was that always like, okay, that's what I want to do? Were you weighing different options? What went into that decision?
So to keep it a buck, when I entered the portal, like the whole time in my mind, I'm like, there's like a 90% chance I end up at Rice. Honestly, it was probably higher than that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm probably going to end up at Rice, but I'm going to do my due diligence, see what's out there, see what kind of interest I can garner.
Yeah.
And like there were teams like Loyola Chicago is like enticing because they always go to the tournament. They're always good. Like Iowa came in and they're a big school.
Yeah.
And it was just like I have to see what's out there, see what is best for me.
Yeah.
But honestly, the whole time it was like, I'll probably be at Rice.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in Houston. Like,
yeah. What was that like, reconnecting with a guy you had so much success with? You guys both developed together, not just as basketball players, but as people. I mean, if there's one thing about our high school, you was going to grow up. You was going to figure out who you was.
Facts.
So you guys got to develop your games together and develop yourselves as individuals. What was that like then, being able to go back and actually hoop with him? You know, what is this, 3, 4, 5 years removed from the last time you guys played together? Both of your games have matured. You're in a different spot career-wise. What was that like?
It was a crazy full circle moment. It was just like, it felt like it was like meant to be.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are the chances like COVID happens and I get to essentially kind of pick where I get to play, like just get a free year. It was so much fun, bro. Like just being able to hoop with my guy. I mean, we used to be in the gym together all the time. Yeah. Playing ones, competing all the time. So it felt great. It was a lot of fun to be able to play with them. And I mean, I'm super grateful for that year.
Yeah, man. You showed out for sure. You was getting on that rim a lot last season.
Chill,
boy.
bro.
The bunnies came back. The bunnies came back. So now, all right, you're done with Rice. You're in this kind of like, okay, I'm done with school. Pro grind. Tell me what that's like. I know you was doing your workouts and whatnot. You got to tell me what it's like to now be in that transition of like, okay, I'm about to go do this thing professionally. Like this game that I've been playing for forever.
Yeah.
I'm now going to turn this into a job. What is that grind like? Because most of us are never, ever, ever going to see what that's like.
So first things first, I had to like take a step back because I feel like where I'm at now was like a dream like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm here. Like it's time to, I'm here. It's great. But it's like, it's different because there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't really know like how things are going to go, where you're going to end up, honestly. So I think I've just been focusing on just trying to get better, try to stay in shape, improve my game, because I really don't know where I'm going to end up at. It could be anywhere, and it's kind of fun. It's just like, it's fun. It's like, this is what I do now. Like, it's crazy.
You're
like,
a hooper, bro.
It's like everybody has it's really dope. Like everybody has a job. Everybody's moving forward in life. And I just feel like it's like I really just hoop. Like,
bro, your job is to hoop.
I
bro.
just play basketball. Like,
That's
it's kind of
super
yeah,
lit.
it's crazy,
That's
but it's
fire.
dope.
That's fire. So if anybody watching this is like early high school and is like, I want to be a pro, I want to be a D1 player, whether it be basketball or any type of athlete, what advice could you give them that might help them get on the right path to achieve the things that you've been able to achieve?
What advice? I would say, I think you have to be super intentional in your approach to your work. You really like. There's no time to waste. You have to go in there every day with like just an idea of what you want to work on, what you want to be better at, and just approach it like, I mean, it's a cliche, like a professional, but like a professional. Just treat this like you really want to do this for a living.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I think that applies to literally anything, right? Whether it be, because like I said, I took the lessons I learned from watching Carl hoop. I was not going to be a pro hooper. I knew that. That wasn't my bag. But I figured out that, okay, whatever it is that I want to do, I just got to put the reps in. One thing about Carl, he put the reps in. The reason his jumper is so automatic is because he puts the reps in. So whatever it is that you're doing, whether you could want to be a singer, you could want to be an actress, you could want to be a physician, a physics person, I don't even know what you call those people, right? Figure out what it is and be intentional about growing yourself every single day. This guy is probably, at this point, you're one of the top 1% of athletes in the world, and he still grinds every day to get better. I think a lot of people kind of lean on the things that they've done. They get complacent in the things they've already accomplished, and that's how you stop growing. So whatever it is you do, figure out what you want to do, and then be intentional about growing yourself every day, and you will see success the way Carl's seen success. Bro, I appreciate you coming on, dropping some gems. It's been a great conversation. Where can people get, tap in with you, whether it be on social media or? Man,
I'm on IG, Twitter. So my IG is what? Carl Pierre 15. Twitter's _Carl Pierre _. So I'm on.
You can also just Google him. He's a Googleable person.
Chill, bro. Don't do that. This is a Harvard man. This is a Harvard man.
Hey, man. Hey, man. But yeah, so the links to his socials will be in the description. Make sure you follow his journey if you want to follow me. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at _Trev Woods. You can follow the podcast at the Global Renaissance Pod. Like I said, all the links will be in the bio. Once again, Carl, I appreciate you coming on.
Sir, bro.
It's always love, bro. And I'll catch everybody else on the next episode.
Tap into the pod, baby.
Yes, sir.